List Homestead. If you are new here, my name is Lynn. Welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. Today's I'm going to start what I hope will be a week in our lives. I've not really done one. I think I've done a day in the life, but I haven't really done a whole week. And we're going to see how it goes. There's going to be lots of interruptions. You're going to hear noises because I'm not going to be editing all those out because it would take me forever. And that is just how our week goes sometimes. And I'm doing this because I need some motivation. S.A.D, seasonal affect disorder, is really kicking my butt this year. I've never experienced it quite this awful, quite frankly, and I think all four of us are actually experiencing it to different degrees. We are just now today digging out of 4 feet of snow. So we've all been housebound for a few days. Not that that's big a deal because we tend to like to be home, but when you know you can't go out, it makes it feel a little different for some reason. And yeah, I'm just finding my get up and go has gone up and went. I don't know where it went. I'm slowly trying to get back into the groove. I feel like I've been saying that for a couple of weeks, but yesterday I certainly got a lot more done. I should have started this video yesterday, but today is Monday, so we're gonna start today. Yeah, so, you know, some days I don't have makeup, I don't have my contacts on. If I take all the time to do all that stuff, I'll never get this video going. Also, our water softener is on the fritz, so the hair is not doing so great. It is such hard water. My tub is completely stained yellow. I am losing the battle of trying to keep up with it. I really can't do a lot of laundry, even though I did some today, because again, it's staining, especially whites. We have a call into them. They were just here not quite 2 weeks ago. They've been here a year ago. I have a feeling what they fixed a year ago is broke again because it's doing the exact same thing. So yeah, it's awful right now. So we're having to buy bottled water, which I hate, and using that to brush our teeth, to cook with, to drink, to make tea, hot chocolate, all that. I'm not a fan of buying bottled water. It really bugs me to have to buy. We're on a well. We shouldn't have to buy bottled water. But hold on, my camera's crooked here. But yeah, so it's just been a crazy couple of days. I just don't know what is going on with this water softener, but I'm really getting pretty tired of it. So I'm starting, well, that was a lot of babbling. I am starting the freeze dryer up today because on my list of things to get done this week is to get some more things freeze dried that I've been meaning to do for a while. And we're gonna get to the elderberries. I have 2 big freezer bags of these elderberries that are in my freezer. And I did, the family actually harvested these for me when I was in Florida last fall, helping my mom settle things with my father's passing. And I told them, just put them all in, don't try and pick them all off. And they do come off a lot easier when you do freeze them. But now I'm left with all these little sticks, and I have tried to get rid of a lot of them, but I have a feeling I'm just going to end up getting rid of them after they freeze dry. I think it'll be easier. And let's see how much. And I'm just gonna get them spread right here on the tray. And I do have my liners on. And I can take out some of the bigger ones. Okay, so there's one tray. These are thawing out already. So even though these are, I'm freeze drying these raw, so if I'm going to use these to make primarily syrup or elderberry gummies or anything like that, I will have to cook these, you know, simmer them for 30 minutes, just like if they were raw, but at least this way I can get them in my freezer and they're shelf stable now until I do need to make a batch, because I do have quite a bit of elderberry syrup canned, minus the honey, that we did. I think I did that back in the fall. So I have that all done. And just in case it's a bad elderberry year, I will have plenty of elderberries. Shelf stable. To finish my thought, Lynn. I'll have plenty shelf stable. So if we use up all the syrup, I'll be able to just simmer some of these and make a batch. And I probably will be putting these in Marlar bags. 1, for the space, and 2, just to keep them long-term storage. So we got 1 tray done. I'm gonna get the other. I'm trying to get as many sticks off as I can. There's still some in here. But I think it might be easier to pull them out once they're freeze dried. We'll hope. Okay, there's 1 tray, 4 more to go. So we have them all loaded, or all filled. I'm just waiting for that to do the cooling chamber. That takes 15 minutes, and we have less than 10. I've had a couple people ask me where I keep my freeze dryer. In my last freeze dryer video that I did, part of that collaboration, Freeze Dry February, and I thought, okay, I have a few minutes, I'll show them. So I actually we just recently moved the freeze dryer to this new location. I love it here. This is a much better place. But that meant I had to organize my store. That's one of the things I did last week, trying to get my get up and go coming again, and I managed to get it all done. I'll show you that in just a minute. But we are currently in, we used to call this our pantry. It really isn't anymore because now it's gonna be the freeze dryer room. So here's the freeze dryer. Here's my washer and dryer. And this is also where I keep a lot of my baking pans and things that we don't use all the time, but I use them often enough that I need to have them. And some of my like holiday dishes for the next holiday, my Easter dishes, are up here. I rotate them. I bring them out of the closet that my Christmas and fall dishes are in right now, and I bring them here and just leave them here. We'll start using those in a few weeks. But yeah, so this is where our freeze dryer is. This is a cart we actually got from Costco to put it on. I love it. It's got a couple of storage shelves where I can keep my large roaster. For Christmas, in my stocking, David actually found these cleaning brushes, and this pops off and you can use different heads for getting in and cleaning the freeze dryer. It's great. It works so good. Much easier because it's pretty narrow, so I find it hard to get my hands in there, and it's a little sharp. So like I said, it came with a bunch of different heads. Here are some of them to get in and clean, and there's a couple more that aren't hanging here yet because I need to get more hooks. But yeah, so it's really, I'm going to show you. It's not insanely loud, but it was loud enough and I know it's going to be running a lot coming up in, you know, harvest season. And we had it here. It was on this wall in what is our storeroom. And if I'm filming in the kitchen, sometimes I worry it's too loud. So yeah, so we'll go back there in a minute. So that's why we moved it into here, to help mitigate the noise. We're hoping to get a door put on here that will even help make it a little less noisier. We're just looking for something that will fit there right now. But yeah, so, and it's a lot brighter in here than the storeroom because we keep that dark to protect my canned goods from the light. So, you know, I can do some videos in here and you guys will not have a hard time seeing me. I had so much lighting everywhere, it was insane. So we have about 7 minutes to go, and then we'll start loading these trays. I forgot to show you, I also have my dehydrator in here now. So yay! It's nice to have a designated space, and that's on a nice little shelving that I've had it on that. But I put my vacuum seal bags, and all the canned dog food goes down there. I guess I'll show you. The shelf too above here not just has my crock pot, but it also has more freeze drying things. The Mylar bags, oxygen absorbers, more vacuum seal bags because I have so many. And yeah, so just a little bit more organized, which I need to be so I can feel better about trying to get things done. I can't get anything done if it's not organized and ready to go. I get too overwhelmed. We are ready to load. So I've already got my valve. It'll tell you here, load trays into the freeze dryer, closed drain valve. Mine's already closed. We're gonna open her up. Okay, there's one thing off my list. Next thing I want to do, I'm actually gonna get spaghetti sauce started for supper. So we'll get that going. One thing about cleaning the store that it needs to be done so I can see what I have left from the pantry challenge. We've been doing really good. We did buy a few groceries last week for snacks. As I said, Aiden's girlfriend was coming over for supper, and I made homemade pizza, but we needed some snacks for the movie we were watching afterwards. And I did buy some beef from our farmers, but other than that, our local farmers. Other than that, we've done really good with groceries. I don't think I've spent, counting the beef, I don't think I've spent $300 in the last 2 months on groceries, which is really good for us. I'm trying to think if with the beef, without the beef, it's definitely been less than, you know what, even with the beef, I don't think we've spent $250. $300's too much. The beef was only $62. So yeah, we've done really well. So I'm just gonna get some spaghetti sauce going. It's noon. I want this to cook for the next few hours, and I found cleaning out my freezer a little bit, very little. I still need to do that better, or more thoroughly. But I found we still had a bag of cheese tortellini, so we're gonna have those tonight. So I'm just gonna put in one of my jars of tomato sauce I canned up last year. And I'm gonna add, this is garlic skate powder. I'm all out of, garlic is another thing I gotta get freeze drying because I am all out of regular garlic powder. Some basil. Some onion powder. And some oregano. And I'm gonna add a little bit of honey to this. You know what, there, might as well put the rest of that in there and I'll fill that up in a minute. And I gotta put some honey in here. And I'm not doing a big batch because it's just going to be David and I eating this, so this is plenty for the two of us. And there's some seeds in here, but I will immersion blend this in a little bit just to grind up all those seeds. They're not fun to eat. Immersion blending blends them up beautifully. We're going to put this on low, and I'm going to let this cook for a few hours, which is why I have it in my Dutch oven. We need some honey. We'll use some of this honey. Maybe. We are in the newly organized store and I'm so happy I got this done because we did find things that we didn't even know we had hidden behind things, and some things I know I need to use up. So like I said, I got all this organized all last week. I dusted everything and it was dusty. Checked all the seals on everybody, made sure everybody was still sealed. There was no spoilage, so this side looks great. And this here, this was actually what was our pantry in that room where the freeze dryer was. This was actually where the freeze dryer was. So we've moved it in here, and I keep forgetting. Everything I need when I'm baking or whatever is over here now, but we'll remember. And it's a little messy because these are all empty jars that we've been emptying for the last almost 2 months. And over here also, lots and lots of empty jars. And I actually had that completely empty. This is, Gracie's kind of taken this over. All this is her things here. So yeah, these are a lot of containers or jars that we've been using for either recipes or natural remedies for colds and flus or headaches or lotions and soaps and things. So that's why there's so many here that are empty. This is pretty much empty. My soap is way up here curing for the next few weeks. And then over here is I primarily use this a lot for my canning shelf, as you can see. It's a little messy. We'll get there because I am going to be part of March Canning Madness again next month that Constance from Cosmopolitan Cornbread hosts, and it's an open collaboration again this year. And I already have some ideas of things that there's a few more things I'd like to have canned up out of my freezer to help me with the busy season that's going to be coming up, and to leave David with some meals when I am gone for a little bit in April. So that's my recipes. I mean, this is ridiculous. Nobody needs this many recipes. And this is just one folder. So I'll definitely, I'm still going through them. Some of this is soap making supplies, which I definitely need to find another place for. but it's better than it was, I promise you. And I mean, again, here, these are boxes here of empty jars I have to find some space for. Or I might just leave them there because those are probably the ones I'll be grabbing next month for March Canning Madness. So I did get a few things done over the last week out of necessity. I had to get those things done. Wow, it is really bright out here, but I'm not going to complain because we haven't seen the sun for a few days. And quite frankly, I think that's what's giving me my energy today. To go with supper tonight, I am going to make some garlic bread. Friday, I made 3 loaves of French baguette bread, and we already went through 1 loaf. It was that good. And I froze the other 2. I took this one out this morning. I'm going to whip up a little bit of garlic butter and slice it up and get it in the oven, and we are ready to eat. David just asked if we could eat supper a little early today because we both kind of skipped over lunch. He spent hours digging us out today, him and Aiden. This is the most snow. We probably have, I'm gonna guess, at least 4 feet. I'll double check with David, but we got a ton of snow. It was definitely snowmageddon here. And all I keep thinking is, oh, my garden's gonna be so happy. And over the last few days, I've been melting snow in the house and saving it in a container with a lid, and I'll be watering my plants with it over the next couple of weeks. My house plants are so happy. I watered them a couple of weeks ago. They're greener. My Christmas cactuses, every one of them is blooming like crazy. It's the nitrogen in the snow, and I really think that's why gardens haven't been doing so great, at least mine, because we haven't had a lot of snow, and the snow brings nitrogen to your soil, and it really needs it. And maybe the bugs won't be so bad this year. We'll see. My bread so it's a little wonky, but it tastes good. Tuesday, and it is very cold here. Oh my gosh, it's so cold. And we have a couple of things I want to get off my to-do list today. One of them is I just actually filmed tomorrow's video. Part of tomorrow's video today. I have to finish it tomorrow, so I just am gonna bring you along for that because you'll see that as a separate video. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to do a week-ish in the life of our family, our homestead, because a few things I want to share with you aren't necessarily long enough for a whole video, so I thought I could combine them over a course of a couple of days and just put them all into one video. And that's one thing we're going to get to today. It's one thing I want to check off my list. The elderberries did come out of the freeze dryer this morning, and what a mess. They freeze dried, that's no problem, and I got them all in their Mylar bags, and they're marked and they're put away for long-term storage, but they still stuck to some of the trays, and when I would try to scrape them off, they would pop everywhere. It was a thing. It was quite a thing this morning with those. But anyway, yeah, I am unloading the dishwasher because the video dirtied up a lot of dishes, and my hands are killing me. I do have gloves I wear when I wash dishes, but you know, we have the dishwasher. It ran last night, so it's ready to be emptied, so that's another thing to get off my to-do list. And I'm going to put away all my ingredients from my video just from a few minutes ago, and then we'll get started on the other thing I want to make today and get started, because it's something that has to sit for at least 6 weeks. So we need to get started on that 6 weeks ago. Dishwasher's unloaded and loaded. I have a few dishes I do have to do by hand, just things that don't go in the dishwasher. So, As you all know, I go to a women in homesteading group that I love. I love these ladies. It has been such a blessing in my life to find this group. In our last group meeting, we learned about fire cider. And I knew about fire cider before a little bit. I learned so much more last Friday. But I always thought it was something I wouldn't use because, you know, you have to use hot peppers and horseradish and all that. And I don't like those things at all. We don't like anything spicy or hot in this house. None of us do. And if we're not going to drink it, it's no use making it and wasting the ingredients. But I found out there are so many kinds of fire cider. You make what fits your family for immune boosting properties. She passed around that she had picked up this book too, Fire Cider, 101 Zesty Recipes for Health Boosting Remedies. And it's by Rosemary Gladstar and friends. I love Rosemary Gladstar. I have several of her herbal books with recipes and tips on growing herbs and things. She is like the guru of herbal. I don't even want to use the word herbal medicine, but using herbs to help live a healthier life. That's how I'm going to put it. So I knew I wanted to get this. So I came home and I ordered the book. It wasn't too bad. I think it was only around $20. Battery died. I think I was saying, yes, I picked up this book and there's so many amazing recipes in this. And then I turned to this one. Literally, I opened up the book. The first one I saw was elderberry. That was the first word I saw. And I'm like, well, I know what kind I'm making. So, like I said, this needs to sit, they're saying here 2 to 4 weeks, but I'm going to do at least the 4 weeks and before we strain it. And yeah, I'm really anxious to anything to help boost our immune system. I am all for, and hopefully this is something we can get down because some fire ciders, I don't know how people are drinking them. You're braver than me and tougher than me because I could never drink them. So I am missing, there's a couple of things I'm missing for this recipe, but I'm not too worried about it. I do have some other things I will put in. But basically, yeah, it's putting things in that you like, that you know are immune boosting and putting them all together and taking healthy-wise, to stay healthy and help build your immune system. You can take just 1 to 2 teaspoons a day as an adult. And then if you're sick, you can up that to 1 to 2 teaspoons every 2 to 3 hours to help, you know, maybe get over whatever illness you have quicker. So, but definitely taking it, you know, just remember to take it every day, 1 little teaspoon. I think I can handle that. Will the rest of the family? I don't know. I really don't know. But hey, if they don't, Mom will. So I have a large gallon mason jar here. And it's nice to be able to use these. I love these jars, but I'm using this, and so far I have in here 4 tablespoons of my elderberries that I grow here, and I dehydrated them last summer, so I've just already gone ahead and put them in there. And we're going to add to that, I'll give you the measurements, but I'm not necessarily going to measure anything. 3 tablespoons of echinacea. And again, this is echinacea that I grow here, and I harvested it and dehydrated it. I'm going to say that's about 3 tablespoons. I have 4 slivers of fresh ginger that I got that I'm going to put in there. 2 teaspoons of marshmallow root. I'm so excited to finally be able to use my marshmallow root. I grew it and didn't really know what I was going to do with it. So, 1. I'm just going to put a little extra in where I don't have. So one of the things it calls for is high sop. That's not something I have. I might think about growing it out actually though this year. So okay, so there's our marshmallow root. I don't have rose hips. I didn't get a chance to harvest any last year because, you know, our circumstances with my dad passing and me not being here and then waiting for it to get cold enough to go out and harvest the roses. And anyway, there just wasn't enough to harvest, and by the time I checked on them, they were way past the time to harvest, so I don't have any rose hips. 1 small cinnamon stick, and this is organic Ceylon cinnamon, which has a higher immune boosting properties than regular cinnamon, but if that's all you have, use the cinnamon stick, any cinnamon stick. A 1/2 star anise pod, and I do have some anise. Let me see if I can, are they easy to break? Oh, they are, okay. So that's about 1/2 of that. Not a huge fan of the flavor of star anise, but I'm still going to put it in here. 2/3 cups of unpasteurized honey. I did have to heat my honey up just a little bit because it got a little thick with the cool temperatures we're experiencing today. Oh, and I'm going to add some strawberry leaf. It called for something. I think the hyssop and things, so I don't have that, so I'm just going to add some strawberry leaf. Okay. And 2 cloves. 1, 2. Okay. We're just going to give this a little bit of a mix. Man, it smells good. So to this, we are going to add 1 1/3 cup of apple cider vinegar. Basically, I'm not even going to measure this because I just want to make sure everything is covered and stays under the apple cider vinegar. And I just want to show you, whoops, this is the one I'm using. I get it at Costco. Costco has the best price. It has the mother, which is what you're going to want, because the mother has a lot of immune boosting, probiotic, prebiotic, pure immunities, properties rather in it. So, all right. And we're going to give this a good stir. And I'm going to set it somewhere dark and hopefully remember to give it a shake every few days. I just want to stir it, make sure all the honey is mixed in well and dissolved. And this lasts, like the ladies were saying, they have some that they've had for a very long time. So if we don't use it all this winter, we'll start using it again in the fall. Because, you know, in 4 weeks, where are we going to be? End of March? Well, there's still a lot of yuckies that go around, and there's certainly nothing wrong with boosting your immunity year-round. So we just tend to think about doing it in the winter. But truthfully, one of the sickest I ever was in the summer. So, okay, I think we have enough in there. I think everybody's covered. And I have a plastic lid, so I'm okay, but if all you have is the normal lids that come with these, that's fine. You just need to put a piece of parchment down first, then your ring and your lid, so just to keep it from rusting, because the vinegar will react with the metal. Okay. And I'm actually going to give it a good shake right now. I had a little bit of honey at the top there, so I want that. All right. Fire cider vinegar, something I put off making way too long. It is simple. We make everything too complicated, at least I do, and it doesn't need to be. So we're just gonna let this sit for at least 4 weeks, and we will definitely test it together on a video. And yeah, I'm excited to have that done. There we go. So you could add anything you wanted to fire cider. You could add oranges, you could add apples, you could add lemons, you could make an all citrus one and just do orange and lemons, grapefruit, anything like that. I'm gonna follow this recipe, but I do have some oranges that I bought that are starting to go a little iffy. And I'm wondering about, I might make later, not today. I have other things on my to-do list today, but I might think about making one with those oranges because I do still have some apple cider vinegar left. Okay. That's another thing off our to-do list today. I'm gonna go break for lunch, and I have to think what we're gonna do for supper tonight. We're in a rut with supper, honestly, and it has nothing to do with pantry challenge and stuff. We have plenty of food, plenty of food. I just need to find some more new recipes, I think, for that food. Actually, we have shepherd's pie still in the freezer, and I could use the space. I think I'm gonna dig out a couple of them and let them start thawing so we can have those for supper tonight. Yeah, that sounds good. Love my freezer meals. So I did do the shepherd's pie for supper. I just remember we froze all these when we made a bunch of them back in January, and I just want to show you, it comes out perfectly. The shepherd's pie freezes beautifully, but I just recently saw where you can freeze dry shepherd's pie. So I have a couple of little mini shepherd's pies left. I think I'm gonna try freeze drying it and see how it turns out, but time to eat. It's a very cold Wednesday here, and next on my to-do list is to finally get going on last summer's harvest of garlic. And I'm going to show you how I peel all this garlic. Now, this is only going to work with older garlic. It's not going to work with fresh garlic. It has to be a few months old, and this I harvested in July and August last year. So we're definitely old enough. The leaves are very papery, and all the ones that I kept the stems on so far, this is my second batch of stems with the stems on, they have held up beautifully. And the ones I had saved in this bag, because for whatever reason, the stems, I couldn't either save them, or they were too small, or they were the hard neck variety. Whoa, where'd that go? Oh my goodness, that thing moved. Landed all the way over here in the basket in my island. You can braid them, but you can't the hard necks. I think I got that right. And I did grow some hard necks this year. But yeah, Lily, darn dogs. So, my plan. I am going to, after I get these peeled, and I show you my little trick that actually works. I hope this will be the time it doesn't. Once I get these peeled, I'm going to puree them up in my food processor, get them frozen, and we're going to freeze dry it. So I can have garlic powder. This time, that's what I'm using my garlic more for. I'd love to save a few fresh, but it's getting older and it worries me about it. I want to use it up before it goes bad. I've already had a few I've had to throw out that just did not hold up well. This one, it's like I can crush it. It's like nothing in there now. It's all evaporated. But these really big cloved garlic, like some of them, like that's one clove. They're pretty good. So I have them in a bowl that has a lid. And all I'm gonna do is shake the heck out of this. Woo! And we have, now we gotta pull the pieces out, but not all of them, but some of them are peeled. I gotta shake them again. But a lot of them have come off. Oh, that one peeled. And I'm just gonna get them into my food processor, puree them all up, get them frozen, just to save me some time with the freeze dryer. And we'll freeze dry these tomorrow. I have just a very little bit of garlic skate powder left, and that's it. I have no more garlic powder, so I need to have some. All peeled, and I'm just going to puree these up. And the reason I'm freezing them is because I have some already frozen that I had done when I processed my garlic last year, and I just froze in trays, hunks, and then I vacuum sealed them so they would last until I could get to them. So I'm just going to use, hopefully it'll fit this one, all of it, I don't know, because that's the size I have. And we're actually going to try freeze drying them in these cubes. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to try it. Freezer, and we will freeze dry these tomorrow with the rest of the ones that are already frozen. It has been so cold here the last couple of days, and today my oven's heating up. Today is no different than the last couple. very, very cold. This is the part of winter where I'm tired and dreaming of spring. Definitely dreaming of spring, and going to be starting my seed soon, and I'll be bringing you all along with that with me when we start that. I have my shelves all ready to go. This weekend we're going to start digging out the heating mats and the light tray, or the lights, and hopefully get to the trays. Unfortunately, the trays are either in what we call our barn or my garden shed, and the snow is up there pretty high right now, so it's going to take a few days of digging enough to get in there and start getting some of those trays out. I'm going to make some bread today, and I'm going to be making bread that I have to mill my flour first. That was one of my goals this year, to start making, because we're not going to give up eating bread. Dave and I are not giving up eating bread. Here's a little crazy there. We love bread. I do. I'm sure it's the Irish in me, but this girl loves bread. I love carbs, but bread especially. And I figure if we're still going to keep eating bread, then I want to eat the most nutritious bread we can make, which means using freshly milled wheat berries to make your bread. And I've done a little bit of experimenting. Good and bad has happened. I think I've learned a couple little things that I can share with all of you. I'm certainly not an expert. This is only my third or fourth time, I think, making bread from freshly milled flour, and it's definitely a work in progress. I know it's going to take me several months to get the knack of it, and I haven't even tried using it yet and other things. I'm just focusing on bread right now, and then I will start getting the soft wheat berries to try muffins and cakes and pies and things like that. But yeah, so we're gonna mill up some flour. I have a recipe that I'm going to try. This is one of the ones I've already tried before, and I got a few tips from my friend Holly about maybe what went wrong the first time. So I'm anxious to try it and bring it along with you. So over here on the KitchenAid, I've attached my mill, my food, what do we call this? Grain mill, yeah, that David got me for Christmas. And I need, for this recipe, I need 4.5 to 4 3/4 cups of freshly milled flour, which is about 3 cups of the wheat berries. So I'm gonna get 1 cup going. And we're gonna turn this on low. And I have it set for the finest grinding session. And it is noisy. And there it goes. Hopefully you can see that. Here it is all milled. I am going to put it through my fine mesh sieve just to get out any bigger pieces that didn't grind or the bran that's left over. I grind it so fine that I find I haven't had to sift a lot. A lot of it doesn't, there's nothing really to sift, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But I did turn it up a bit at the end and put it on, yeah, and put it on a different setting just to make it go a little faster. And there are a few pieces that didn't grind, so I'm just gonna set that aside for now. So one of the cons of having the attachment that goes onto your KitchenAid as a grain mill, my KitchenAid gets very, very hot, like very hot. I have to turn it off and let it sit now for quite a while. Well, if I want to go make the bread, that's not really, you know, I want to use this as quickly as I can after I've grind it to keep on the nutrition that I can in it. So that does not real convenient. So I did a little searching, and I've been dreaming about a Bosch mixer for years. I mean, I would love to have one. The price is definitely way out of my budget right now. Like, it is in another universe out of my budget. So I thought there has to be another budget-friendly option. And I'm excited to share with you a mixer that I found, and they sent it to me, and I want to thank JoyDeem for sending this to me. I haven't shared a whole lot about it because I really wanted to use it quite a few times before I gave you my opinion on it, and I have to say I am loving this mixer, especially for bread. This is it here. I love this portion where I can put what I want into there and not have to take off the whole lid. Right now, I've already started our bread dough, so I have 1 cup of the sifted flour that we just milled in here. I also have 2 cups of warm water and 1 tablespoon of instant yeast. And we are just going to proof this for 15 to 20 minutes. And this is going to be for 2-pound loaf, or 2 1-pound loaves of bread is what I'm making. So yeah, 1 cup of flour, the yeast, and 2 cups of warm water, and we're just gonna let this sit for 15 to 20 minutes till it gets bubbly, and I can talk a little bit more about this while that's doing that. One of the things I love about this mixer, like I said, it's very similar to what I would assume it's similar to the Bosch, not having one, but having seen them, is the top, being able to put your ingredients through the hole on top. It also can hold a lot. This mixes a lot of dough for me. Another plus was what I was looking for. And it has some functions that I really like. Here we go. These are the buttons. So we have a start, pause, a ferment, a timer, plus or minus, a mix button, and this cancels anything you put in. But this was the one that I love, this ferment. I can set this on a temperature to keep everything in here perfect temperature, which is really important for sourdough, to sit and ferment, rise, whatever you want, your word you want to use. I love this function. It's also very easy to clean. There's only one little, see if I can take this off and you can see it. Might not be able to see it because the flour and the yeast are in there, but I'll show you afterwards. It just has one little paddle that goes in there. I really like this. You know me, I wouldn't recommend a product to you all if I did not like it. I really am enjoying this. I don't find it takes up a lot of space. And like I said, especially where I'm using this so much, where I'm grinding my grains so much in this, it really does get hot and I can't use it. I don't want to burn out my motor, and I don't want it struggling mixing the dough for me. This recipe, you need to mix it for 9 to 10 minutes, which is a long time for our KitchenAids to be mixing. Too long, honestly. Or you can do it by hand for 20 minutes. I do not, y'all know I have problems with my hands because of chemotherapy. I have neuropathy really bad. Kneading a bread dough for 20 minutes is not gonna happen for me. So this is able to do everything for me. It's easy to clean, easy to use, and the price is much more reasonable than a Bosch. Is it a Bosch? Absolutely not. And I'm not gonna lie to you and say it is. But for me, it certainly has turned into a much better budget-friendly option for now. Maybe someday down the road I can get one. But for now, this is certainly fulfilling my needs that I need it for. And I just wanted to let you all know. I will link it down below. It is on Amazon. I believe the last time I looked, it was around 130 Canadian. I'm not sure what it is on the American Amazon, but that is certainly much more reasonable than a Bosch or even a KitchenAid mixer. So I highly recommend it. If it was something you were looking at and wondering, is that really worth it? I believe it is. I've enjoyed it. Like I said, I've been using it for several months now, making sure that I liked it before I shared it with all of you. So yeah, I wanted to share my new little appliance that I have, and I mainly got this for dough. And I am loving it, and it holds a lot. Did I mention that? It holds a lot of dough, so I can get a lot of bread made in one fell swoop. So that was really great. And it's a workhorse. It seems to be working really well. So JoyDeem, I'll put it down below, and you all can check that out if you are interested. And the only thing I get is, if you happen to order it, is I'm an affiliate with Amazon. I make a very small commission, but it costs you nothing. But I would never recommend anything that I myself don't personally love. You can count on that. So we're just gonna let this go for a few more minutes. I have the rest of my ingredients ready. I'm gonna check on it. It might not, it's pretty warm in there, I must say. Oh, we are looking bubbly. I'm only gonna give it a couple more minutes, and then we'll add the rest of our ingredients. Now we are going to add the honey, the oil, and the salt, and 3 cups of flour. Altogether, you're probably gonna need 3.5 more, but we're gonna start smaller first. That's definitely one thing I've learned with the freshly milled flour, is to use less than you think in the beginning. You can always add more, but you can't take away. So we are going to add a 1/4 cup of, I'm going to actually take this off right now, just make this easier where I'm filming. Maybe. Come on, lid. There we go. We're going to add a 1/4 cup of, I'm using organic sunflower oil. Add a 1/4 cup of honey. 3 cups of our flour. 1. 2. Okay. And 1.5 teaspoons of salt. We are going to mix this until we start seeing the dough pull away from the sides. From the bowl, we have 11 minutes already on the timer, so I'm just going to let this go until we reach, it's going to be still sticky, which is fine, that's what we want, but we want, it should be soft, stretchy, and slightly sticky. So we're just going to let this go for the next 11 minutes. The timer just went off. I'm going to peek at it. Oh, it looks good. Yes, we are slightly sticky, soft, and stretchy. So we're gonna get this out of here. Oh my goodness. Actually, I need to get a little bit, I have a little bit of milled. So I did end up using 3.5 cups when I put this in. So 4.5 cups total for this recipe is what I end up using. Today, I have just a little bit left over. And we are gonna measure this dough and we're gonna divide it into half. I'm gonna fold it into a loaf shape and I have my 2 pans ready here, greased with butter. I just find butter gives it a better flavor. Put that one into there. And we're going to let this rise. Bit until it's 1 inch over the edge. Now, there is something about freshly milled flour that I have learned is it rises much faster than traditional flour. Like, it went too long last time and I ended up getting a big hole halfway through the middle of one of my loaves. So we're going to, yeah, just let it, I'm going to put it on my oven, which is already preheated to 350, and I'm going to check it like in 20 minutes. Like seriously, it rises so fast. So while that rises, I'm going to clean up, but I did want to show you, this is the blade that is in that mixer that goes in there. Just like that. Okay, I'm going to clean up and we will check on that dough in about 20 minutes. This is after about 30 minutes. It's still not, it's supposed to be 1 inch above the rim. Last time I waited for that, that's when I had bad things go wrong. So I'm going to put this one in the oven and let this one rise a little bit longer, and I'll see hopefully if I made the right decision, but at least this way, if this one continues to rise and gets a hole in it, I still have 1 loaf. So this is gonna go into a 350-degree oven for about 35 minutes. I'll put mine in for about 20 and then keep checking it every 5 minutes. 25 minutes is all that one took. I let the other one rise that whole 25 minutes while this one baked. Now that one's in the oven. Oh, it smells so good. So we will let this cool completely. And then the important part, how does it taste? And hopefully there's no hole in the middle this time. So we're gonna have supper tonight. Easy supper, homemade soup that I canned. So our taco soup. And I made us some quick, what we call grown-up Swiss grilled cheese. It's honey ham and Swiss cheese. And it's on the homemade bread we made yesterday from that fresh milled flour. Right down here. That's how it turned out. Not as tall as I would like. The second one was a little bit taller, but not much. I could have proofed it just a little bit longer, which I will do my next loaf in a few days once we go through these two. The flavor, though, is amazing. Even David liked it, and I asked him if this is a bread that he feels like he could eat going forward, and he said, yeah, he could get used to eating this. So my hope is we do not buy any more bread. I'm not going to say we're never going to because, you know, sometimes life gets busy, but I'm certainly going to do my best to keep up with it. I also need to make more English muffins, so that will be something hopefully on the to-do list next week. And that will be it for this week. It is Friday night. I had my group today, so this is why we're having a quick, easy meal. Also, it's really cold, so having a nice bowl of soup and grilled cheese just screams something you want to have on a cold winter night. And we are done for this week. I took you along with a lot of things we did this week. I feel very proud of myself. I feel like I'm finally finding my get up and go again. And tomorrow I am going to Holly's house, who is the originator of Women in Homesteading group. She's our leader. She is teaching a beginner's cheese course that I've signed up for. So we'll be bringing home some fresh mozzarella tomorrow. So it'll be pizza night with fresh mozzarella cheese. And I'll let you all know about that later in a video, how it all went. I'm really excited to learn how to make cheese. Today we learned all about tapping maple trees, which is something I really want to do, but we don't have a lot of maples on our property, unfortunately. And the few we have, David, we're going to check, but I just don't think they're going to be big enough to tap, which is kind of disappointing, but it certainly made it seem a lot less scary today. Steph did a great job explaining everything, so that's it, friends. Thanks for following along with me on our, I won't say this is a whole week. We've done about 5 days, but we got a lot done. Until then, take care, God bless, and we'll see y'all soon.